Hey everyone, this is Alex Collado, your product designer from the Philippines, and today we're going to talk about 4 tips for new product designers. I've been a product designer for a while now, and I can definitely say there are things that can make your journey easier in the beginning. So let's start with the first tip. First off, you want to always work on your fundamentals, specifically visual design, because it's just that important, right? And not a lot of designers deliberately practice around visual design. So when I say visual design, I'm talking about the user interface and how you solve problems related to the user interface, your knowledge of design patterns, your knowledge of the basics like visual hierarchy, and how you utilize things like color, white space, contrast, grids, and things like that, especially typography. Like when I view portfolios and I see that your visual design is subpar, it's usually like a no for me. Because as a product designer, at least in my experience and my standards, I think it's super important that, visual design is a strong area in your arsenal. So you should always be learning the fundamentals, and specifically because you're a product designer, you also want to train in the areas of product thinking, and generally things around solving problems, because you're not just a person who's designing mockups, right? You're contributing to understanding which opportunities to take for the product team. Because you're a product designer, you're kind of somehow involved in understanding which items to take for the roadmap of your product, and you always want to learn, right? Like a part of that is talking to users. So that's part of my first tip. All right, for the second tip, I think this is one of the most important things, is to always meet and build relationships with more experienced designers. Because if you find a mentor or someone who can coach you, you can kind of fast track your learning process. Because instead of learning it on your own, which typically takes a while because you probably don't know where to start or which areas of design to focus on, a mentor can help you figure that out, which is specific to your strengths, also your weaknesses, and your areas of interest. Right? And yeah, that's it. One way you can find mentors is to immerse yourself in different design communities, or by actually just approaching someone, DMing them on Twitter, and asking them a question. That's how simple it is. Third tip is to find environments where you can grow and actually fail. In your career, early on, you will fail a lot. And it's especially important to find a company that allows you that latitude. I think finding an environment where you have a manager that really cares about your career growth matters a lot in the long term and the short term for your career, because you can spend a lot of time designing in the wrong environment. And when you're in the wrong environment, you're probably training the wrong skills, or you're probably just going through the motions. No one's giving you a real critique. You're not around a team that understands what you should learn. As a designer, the environment is extremely important, because it shapes the kind of designer you will be. That's why trying to understand the design culture of the companies you join is super important. Like figuring out, okay, the company I'm joining, are they truly understanding of the value of design? Like what's their design maturity? How does design happen in this company? If it's always about mockups and stuff, you can learn about UI design, but I don't think that's the full scope of design. I think design is involved in discovering the problem, defining the problem, figuring out which opportunities to take, being involved in product discovery, iterating towards building and shipping and measuring things that you designed. And there's so much more to design than just creating UI. So just find an environment where you can practice, the real definition of design. Okay, also a manager that cares about you. What does that even mean? I think a manager that cares about you would, schedule a lot of one-on-ones. He or she would be really interested in your life outside the company. So it's not a purely transactional experience, very relational, right? This manager would invest in your skills and all of the opportunities that you would take. He or she would probably have a hand in that and help you grow towards the kind of designer that you want to be. And if you don't know what kind of designer you want to be, ideally your manager should be helping you decide that. Okay, final tip. Fourth tip is to contribute to community. The design industry is kind of small in comparison to like the engineering community, right? So we only have each other. So it's so super important that whatever you learn, knowledge, experience, and whatever, if you're a privileged person, like me, I guess, it's so important that you're helping the community out. Even if, just for example, when you were beginning, like no one helped you out, right? If no one helped you out and you achieved relatively a lot of success, nevertheless, you should be helping the community out because it's gonna drive our industry forward, and you're gonna create a network of people that basically just helps each other out, and that's really good for everyone in the design industry. Community is important. You can find purpose, happiness, meaning in contributing to the community. And how do you do that? You can do that by mentoring people, below one or two steps below your role, right? You can help out your peers. You can mentor them. You can volunteer your time for nonprofit organizations. You can create content. You can initiate, events or spaces where people can connect. You can, something that's super popular right now is just, hashtag build in public. You can just share your journey, and other people can passively just consume whatever you write out into the world, and that's already contributing to community, right? And it's not that hard. You just have to start. And I'm telling you, it's super meaningful. I'm doing it for a while, even as a college student, and I've been a professional for like 3 to 4 years now. When you contribute to community, other people see that, and typically this is a behavior that's kind of important in higher levels of the design career ladder. So not just being influential within your company or within your team, but also the industry or community at large. So if you're a new product designer, it's wise to invest your time early on in the community. It's great. So I don't think there are downsides. There's a lot of upside, to be honest. But yeah, those are my 4 tips. Please just click the like button. You might not care about it, but the YouTube algorithm does. So just click it. If you like this video and you wanna learn more or see more videos like this, please subscribe. You can also tweet me or DM me at Alexis Collado, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.